Hi, good evening. Sorry for being a little late. I'd like to open the meeting and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I'd like to turn the meeting over to our solicitor with some solicitor notes and announcements.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Bryce McGuigan. I'll be the solicitor this evening. A few brief announcements before we get underway. For the record, the board met in a brief executive session to discuss certain legal matters and questions arising from this evening's applications. Separately, we also have a few continuance announcements tonight. Specifically, we have 5 separate applications that will be continued either at the request of the applicant or for lack of proper notice requirement satisfaction. Application 3-2 of 25, the address is 1101 Edmonds Avenue. Application 5-1 of 25 for 305 Richfield Road. Application 5-6 of 25 for 2316 Garrett Road. Application 5-7 of 25 for Ardmore Avenue. And finally, application 5-8 of 25 for 148 Vermont Road. Those applications will not be heard this evening. They will instead be heard on June 24th, 2025 at 7 o'clock right here in this room at that point. So for the purposes of the record, these hearings are open and continue to that date. If you are here this evening for any one of those 5 applications, you don't need to stick around. Those will be heard on June 24th. Separately, I see we have a somewhat full room tonight. For anyone here who is in attendance and is not an applicant or a witness for an applicant, you can participate in any hearing tonight one of 2 separate ways. The first way is by making public comment. Anyone in this room tonight can make public comment at the end of any application and express your feelings to the board, whether you can support, against, or anything in between. However, if you feel like you have a more specialized interest in an application, that you will be more affected or impacted than a standard member of the public, you can alternatively request what's called party status. We have forms right over there by the door that we ask you to fill out for us. What party status means is basically you're almost like a lawyer. You can ask any question of the applicant or the applicant's witnesses. You can produce your own evidence, and at the end of the day, you'll get a copy of the decision ultimately rendered by this board, and you would have the right to appeal that to the Board of Common Pleas if you so. Again, you don't need to request party status to participate or to participate via public comment. It's just another option, and we will give you that choice right at the outset of the hearing that you're here for this evening. So with that, I believe that covers the announcements for this evening. I'll turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Bryce. Okay, so we will begin with application 5-2 of 25, Adisa Colulio. Hi. 1012 Old Lane, Upper Darby, parcel ID number 1608-022-5100. It's in an R2 residential district, and requesting a variance from section 550-10, table 4-1, to permit an encroachment of 2 feet into the required front yard, and B, variance from section 550-10, table 4-1, to permit a side yard setback of 8 feet where 10 feet is required, and an aggregate side yard of 20 feet where 22 feet is required. Hi.
Hi.
So before we begin, I just want to mark a few exhibits for the record. Exhibit ZHB1 will be the application packet materials. Exhibit ZHB2 will be the proof of posting, and exhibit ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. With that, ma'am, can you do me a favor and introduce yourself and spell your name for recording?
Yes, Adisa Kulole.
If you can, yes.
Raise your hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to
I do.
So, Ms. Fuloli, I hope I
Yes.
pronounced that correctly.
Yeah.
Please proceed with your application and tell the board what you're interested in doing.
So my house, it's called Cape Cod, and I'm doing an addition by opening the roof, making the second floor bigger, because the bedrooms are really small and we have very small bathroom also. We're suffering for closets really bad. I live with my husband and my daughter. So while I'm doing that addition, I just wanted to do 2 feet over the front door on the second floor. That was the only extra thing that I needed. So just because I'm doing the addition, I was trying to get those 2 feet just to make it the living space a little bit better than what we're living in right now. And there is a lot of neighbors around my house that have that also. It's not just me. It's like they've done that before as a 2 feet. My neighbor next door had done it about 20 years ago. And I mean, it just makes the life easier for us. It's just gonna be 2 bedrooms upstairs, nothing extra, just a little bigger and walk-in closets.
So real quick, I just want to confirm.
Yes.
The home, you're expanding the second floor as part of this addition? Is that right?
No, the second floor, it's like Cape Cod. So I'm opening the roof, making it full second floor because the walls are like this. When we cannot even put furniture around. Every time we walk around, we hit our head on the walls because they're like this. They're small. So once I'm opening the walls to make the roof fuller, the second floor fuller, I'm just going 2 feet forward above the front door on the second floor only. So just 2 feet over, that's it.
I just want to confirm, you're not expanding going further on the sides? right?
No, no sides. Nope, no sides.
The board has any questions?
I do have a question. So your roof is currently slanted,
Yes,
and so you're going to open it up so it can be like a squared, flat, well, I'm gonna say flat
Y-
roof, but
yeah,
how do you gain the extra, I guess,
because
space for the walk-in closets?
because right now we have 2 bedrooms and a very small bathroom. So by opening, so behind, we've seen those little closets that we have, so much empty space behind those closets. And also in the back, the wall in the back, it's in more, it's not like where the house is, like the wall of the house is very, like, can I show you pictures maybe? Or I think with
Sure.
pictures with,
Yep, any picture you show, if you could just send me after the hearing.
oh, after the hearing, okay.
No, you can show them.
Oh, show them?
Yeah, please. Oh, are they digital or are they printed?
I don't have the back. I have the front, but I don't have the back. I may have it, can I get my phone really quick or no?
Yeah, you can have your phone, and if you have actual pictures, you can submit them as evidence. But you can also show pictures on your phone as
Okay.
well.
Bring 'em right over here.
This is what is going to be. That's the front of my house. I'll show you the picture.
So here. So for the record, I believe the two pictures of or the plan pictures, the architectural renderings you gave us, those are in your application packet, and the board already has those.
Right.
But for the record, the applicant also provided 3 photographs of the home. So I'll mark these as ZHB4 and distribute to the board for them to review.
The back, I don't. So in the back, for example, if the wall of the house is right here, the back is like 5 feet in. So that's how I would gain the space, by making the house above the wall where it's right now. So that's how I would gain the space, by opening the walls, going to where the line of the house is. I wish I had made the picture in the back.
You have it on your phone?
No, I don't, I thought I did, but no.
I think I get the idea, because a lot of the houses out here are kind of slant roof, so.
Yeah,
And I've seen where people open up to square it off. So I just wanted to make sure you're not adding additional square footage to the size of the house,
No,
just,
no sides. You have what my architect did is just in the front 2 feet. And I believe in the back was okay for me to do 3 feet. So the variance today was just for the 2 feet in the front because the back was fine. That's what,
That's correct. So the rear yard setback was fine. There is an additional variance in the back just because the side yards are already smaller than they're supposed to be. So when you maintain the existing house, there will be slightly smaller side yards than the setback allows, but it will be exactly the same as what's there now. Just another 3 feet.
I just have one quick question. How's the pitch of your roof going to be? What angle for the new roof?
so the wall, it's gonna be like, it's in a picture there. You have it in the,
Yeah.
Take a look at, and again, this photograph is in the application packet. I believe that shows the real picture.
So the roof will not increase in height
it's
from
going to,
what is existing now.
no, it's gonna be a little higher, yes, because it's going to be higher. On the architect had wrote all the measurements in the,
I think the question might be, the topmost portion of the roof that exists today, you're gonna keep, that's gonna stay. top.
no,
No.
It's not?
no.
That's why I'm
It's gonna
asking.
be completely new. So the second floor, it's 7 feet high right now. And my architect told me I could go for 8 feet, of course, when the township, when I bring for the other application, the permit. So today was just for the 2 feet. I didn't know that you needed another for the top of the roof. The top of the roof is gonna be a little higher, yes.
So I think I could help. Right, if you look on A2, the side elevation, you can see to the top of the house, it looks like it's about 31 feet. Top of the chimney is 34. Our code max is at 35. So they should be within the realms,
That's
but it
what
does
I'm
look like it's
getting
getting
at.
higher. Yep. Should be compliant.
Did you want to see that? Did you want to see that? I have none. Anybody else have any? Would you like to?
So, at this point, Ms. Cololi, do you have anything else that you'd like to add to the board?
No,
I believe at this point, it would be appropriate for public comment. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor or against this application. Seeing none. Pleasure. We can retire to executive session to discuss, or if the board believes a motion is appropriate. Now, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
approved.
Congratulations, ma'am, you're approved.
Thank you so much.
Formal written decision within 45 days.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too, thanks. Do you want me to leave those pictures that I gave you? I can leave it, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
giving those for the record.
Okay, and I will email you the back of the house.
You don't have to, because you didn't show it.
Okay, moving on to 5/3 of 25. Forgive me for mispronunciation of Olufemi Bello, 1237 Lindale Avenue in Drexel Hill. It's in an R1 residential district, applying for a variance from section 550-44C1, table 10-1, to permit a rear yard projection of 35 feet where only 15 is permitted. Variance from section 550-44C1, table 10-1, to permit a side yard projection of 20 feet where only 15 is permitted. variance from section 550-44C1, table 10-1 to permit a distance of less than 1 foot from the side property line where a minimum of 4 feet is required. A variance from section 550-44C1, table 4-1 to permit a distance of less than 1 foot from the rear property where a minimum of 10 feet is required. And a variance from section 550-44C7 to permit freestanding patio to be less than a foot from the from the rear and side yard lines where 10 feet is required.
There's housekeeping issues, so we're gonna mark a few items as exhibits for the board. Exhibit ZHB1 is the application package. Exhibit ZHB2 is the proof of posting, and Exhibit ZHB3 is the proof of publication. Is there anyone in attendance who would like to request party status for this particular matter? Seeing none, Mr. Bello, do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you introduce yourself, spell your name for the court reporter, and get sworn in, please.
Good evening. My name is Olufemi Bello. That's Olufemi. Last name Bello, Bello.
Can you raise your hand, please? Please swear or affirm.
Yes, I do.
All right, sir. Tell the board what you want to do.
Awesome. Sounded like a lot, but all right. So I recently bought this property with my girlfriend back in August of last year. Moved out of Philadelphia, and basically new to the county. Been in the city all my life, and however, decided to proceed to make the home comfortable for me, and my girlfriend. However, we proceeded to put a concrete slab in the backyard, and not knowing the procedure, the proper procedure, as to doing certain things. However, I did call in prior to that, and basically asking guidance as to what to do, because I wanted to, create more of a comfortable space for myself and my family, at home. However, proceeded to put a concrete slab in the backyard for I believe it's 40 feet by 20. And put that in, and I, wanted to build a pergola out there, something more, comfortable, like I said earlier, for myself and my family. And in the process of the idea that I wanted for the pergola, I got a contractor to come in. He advised that, hey, man, you're going to need a permit for this. So I proceeded to get in contact with the township, told him what I had. And that was when I was told by Josh, was like, hey, man, what you have currently is not in compliance of what, the township rules and regulation is for patios. So I proceeded as like, listen, man, I spent a lot of money on this, man. I didn't know, pardon my ignorance. However, he, suggested that this is an option. So I reached out. So basically, boils down to where we're at now. I want to basically keep that. I don't want to have to cut too much off. I was told that, you're 10 foot apart from each neighbors. And, luckily I have my neighbors with me here to, vouch for me as well as to the work that I have back there and their approval. So, however, my plan now is to have, instead of 40 feet, to 35 feet. And 35 by 20 to give it about a 700 square foot patio in the backyard. And, the stormwater management is already taken care of as well. And just to keep that so I could kind of make it comfortable for myself. And I plan on, raising family here, having kids here. I have none yet, and it's trying to make it as comfortable as I possibly could for myself and my family.
Mr. Bello, you
Yes, sir.
mentioned that stormwater's already been taken care of.
Yeah, so the style in which I have stamps on the patio, there's the concrete slab that kind of naturally flows out water that comes on there.
And you know that during the permitting process, whatever, the township would review your stormwater.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
For sure.
obviously, you would be subject to this township approval, and if they
Of course.
question making any changes, you're gonna have to.
That's totally fine, definitely.
Just Just making sure you understand that.
For sure.
With that, if the board has any questions?
Anybody else?
Um, the adjustment from 40 by 20 to 35, you said 35? by
35,
20?
yes, yes.
Uh, does that adjustment, are the variances that you're seeking, are all those variants still in required post-adjustment, or did you make those adjustments after seeing the variance, and does that address some of them?
So right now, what I have, so basically, the only difference on here is, because I currently have 40 feet, right? So I plan on cutting it from the rear property of my neighbor down 5 feet. And just keeping that, to a good size of 700 square foot. So that's the plan.
Right, but I guess what I'm asking,
Yeah.
so the 40 feet to 35 feet, that's the depth from I guess from
From my
the
rear neighbor.
frontage or from the rear
From the
property
rear.
line to,
Yep.
I guess, towards the frontage.
That's correct.
So that change, I guess, I'll ask it differently. The change from 40 to 35 feet, did that address any of the variances that you needed, or was that?
So that's not on here, right? Josh?
You get what I'm asking, John? Like,
It might, and I guess I mostly use, right, this, right, this graph here, right? This has it as 36 feet. So
Yeah.
what you're saying is that there's an additional 4 feet
Yes.
before we get to the line?
Yes, exactly.
So that solves it on the one side. So, right, if you look at variance, right, C, or sorry, B, right, to permit side yard, or sorry, maybe it's supposed to be 4 feet from the side yard. I suppose that's your rear yard,
Here's my rear yard.
but you're at 0 feet with the side yard,
With the
correct?
side, yeah, I'm right where my fence is. So I started off from the fence
Okay.
and from each corner, yeah.
so
So-
the slab is running from your fence line?
From like literally where, yeah, yep. It's a 2x4 inching off from the fence.
And that would, I'm sorry, Dan,
No, go ahead, you're not.
just trying to get clarification.
Correct.
On your drawing
Yes.
that you have, where it has the 36 feet on the one side,
Yeah.
are you moving it inward?
So yeah, so basically right now it's a little interesting. The drawing it took me a while drawing that. However, currently I have 40 feet from my side to the rear. I have pictures to show you so you kind of see what exactly I'm talking about. If it makes it easier for you, and I could point it out for you on there as well.
And I think I figured it out. So right, there has to be 10 feet from the rear yard line.
Mhm.
So instead of it being right less than 1 foot, which is what was advertised, it would be a reduced variance to, right, it would be reduced by 4 feet.
Basically.
So, right, it would be 6 feet, right, where 10, he's encroaching 6 feet where 10 feet is required.
But if it was reduced to 30 feet, then there would be no variance needed at all?
For that variance. You would still have the side yard variance.
So I guess, oh, I'm sorry, my mic's not on. Sorry. So I guess that begs the question, if you're reducing it to 35 feet, why not just get rid of the need to the variance and go to extra 5 feet?
So go extra 5. So that's 10 feet all the way. You get what I mean? So I'll
Right,
be
from
cutting
40,
Yeah, from 40.
right,
That's the. I'm sorry. That's the thing. It's gonna cut it right in half, and
okay.
yeah, it's gonna take a lot from
And from I guess your perspective, the depth of it is more important to what you're trying to do than the width of
Exactly.
it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, and then the cost as well. I've factored all of that in. It's kind of heavy on there, but I totally understand from each end of it. But I'm willing to reduce as as needed, at about 5 feet from where it is right now, from the
Your
rear.
rear neighbor?
Yes, yes.
Is that the neighbor you have here today?
Yes, I have all my neighbors around me, yeah.
You have the neighbor that's on the
In the rear.
side up to the
Up the
fence?
side as well,
You have
correct.
that neighbor
Yes.
too?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's a question, when I look at this, drawing, which, it says house 1234,
Yes,
that's not you,
no,
that's your neighbor.
I believe so.
Oh.
Oh, well, 1233. What's 12?
Because I'm looking at the drawing, and it
Yes.
says 1234. I'm sure it's supposed to be Lindale Ave. That is not your house.
My house is 1237. It might be a typo.
So I was just looking at.
Is a typo there?
Oh,
it's
just
a
It's a typo, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it was a typo. Yeah, yeah, that's a typo, yeah.
Just looking more so we kind of already talked about the rear yard, but talking a little bit more about the side yard.
Yeah.
Just to confirm, before reductions,
Yeah.
the current status of it, does it touch your fence?
It's
On
like,
on the side yard?
on the side, it's a 2x4. Like, when they framed out prior to, putting the slab down, it's a 2x4 literally from the fence and the concrete slab.
So there's not really a gap.
It's not much now.
So it's just directly up again, and that fence is on your property
It's
line?
on my property line, correct? Yes.
Okay, so, I have a question about drainage.
Yeah.
When it does rain, is that water draining off onto your neighbor's property?
No, it's draining off to mine.
Okay.
Is it flat?
Yeah, it's a little slanted. That's why I have stamps on it, right? So when I did it, they had like it's a stamp basically helps the water find its way back to my grass.
One of my follow-up questions is, so we're looking at like a 20 feet wide,
Yeah.
not lengthwise, but like wide.
Mhm.
And then looking at the drawing that you gave with the pergola, I'm assuming that's what you're attempting to build?
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the
Okay.
idea. Yeah.
So, but as you're going with those 12-foot measurements?
For the pergola?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
for
it's
that
like 12
structure.
foot width, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then we're looking at about,
Maximum.
yeah. So I guess my question is, even with, because I know we talked about like reduction on the rear
Mhm.
side, that you could technically fit the pergola, your entertainment wall,
Yes,
and provide some level of
definitely.
space
100%.
just between that fence.
Oh,
'Cause-
100%. That's the plan. Because
Okay,
that would be
okay.
selfish of me of that water if the
Yeah.
pergola is slanted like that and is going directly to his. Nah. So that's why it's 20 feet, right? So I'm gonna put it in like mainly even towards my side. give it
No, I
about-
mean, I understand that for the structure. I just meant more so for the concrete slab, though. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
what, having the concrete slab go directly up to the property line without any type of separation.
So another idea. So that's another part of a permit process of getting the pergola put up. I might not necessarily even use an A-shaped pergola. I might do a slanted pergola that the rain goes directly to my grass. Is that
Well, I mean, I understand the pergola. The pergola
Yeah.
is not my issue.
Mhm.
I have no problem with the pergola.
Yeah.
I was just talking about specifically because we reduced the concrete slab from the rear property line,
Yeah.
right? But the side yard still is on that property line.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, what is the reasoning that you couldn't provide a 1 foot or a 2 foot
Okay.
barrier so that there is some grass, some dirt, some places for water to drain,
Right.
so that you're not, the current property owners might be okay with it, but like, putting something like that kind of structure right on your property line
Mhm.
can cause issues in the future.
Okay.
So I guess that's my question is, why does it need to specifically go, if we can reduce it on the rear end,
Okay.
even if just by a foot or so,
Okay.
why can't we do it on the side yard?
On the side. So basically, my thought process prior to that was the work that might need to get done, like cutting it 40 feet. That's basically what I was thinking. Like the cutting the 40 feet and 20 feet might have just been easier, cutting it, 5 or 4 feet, from the rear, keeping the width and still have a reasonable, size. Basically, it was just the labor process of it that I was thinking, and that made me choose just, reducing it 5 feet from the rear or 4 feet from the rear.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So outside of the area where the slab is
Yeah.
physically, your backyard, I guess generally speaking, I know you, or I don't know, maybe you are an architect. I don't know.
Nah. That was help of Google, ChatGPT, and a
Okay,
little bit
yeah.
of-
So I didn't want to presume, but
Yeah.
I guess my question is, the backyard, like the grass area, is
Yeah.
that generally flat? Is it
Th- th-
slanted?
yeah,
Is it-
so it's generally flat. It's just grass back there.
Okay. Because my thought was you're talking about the slab and your intentionality regarding like trying to make sure water doesn't sit on the
Sit on
slab,
it,
right?
yeah.
Which I understand, but you don't have any concerns about because obviously it's running off into the
Into it.
impervious area.
Yeah.
Previously, that was entirely impervious, right? You don't have any
Definitely.
concerns about the runoff from the slab onto the remaining grass area in terms of flooding or anything like that?
Not at all. The water, the way it's set up now, water never sits there for long. It finds its way to flow out into the street. Yeah, somehow. Yeah, it finds its way. Yeah. I never had issues, but it's beautiful grass back there, and never had any kind of issue with water in the rear.
Does it come out to your sidewalk?
The water?
Yeah.
It comes out. Good question. It comes out. It finds its way through the driveway because I have a driveway on the other side,
Yeah, I've
and
seen
so
that.
it comes out through that driveway. It flows all the way out through the driveway to the street.
Is there power ran out there?
There is an outlet in the back.
Others?
There is an
like
outlet,
where?
correct? Yeah. There's a rear outlet. I have a garage as well that has outlets in it. And I have pictures for you if you want a clearer view of what it actually looks like today. I can show you.
You want to submit it as
Yeah, I'll send it to you as well.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
I have it right on my phone, correct?
You got to send that to Josh.
It's fine.
Yep. You show them, and then whenever you show them, I'll send
Okay.
it after.
Gotcha.
What is the entertainment wall?
So basically, it's just a wall with a TV in it, and that's basically it.
So it's TV, not sound.
No. It's just TV. Just I'm a cop in Philly, so if I get any chance to come home from work and just relax at home, I get a chance and enjoy that. So that's basically it.
But there will be sound. I mean, if you're
From the
watching
TV,
Oh,
yeah, of
okay.
course,
Yeah.
from the TV. I don't plan on putting any boom boom speakers out there. Nah, this is solely for me and my family. That's it. That's all, man. It's just me and my girlfriend. That's all. And of course, if my neighbors want to join anytime, they're more than happy to.
You want to bring up the?
Yeah. So now I have basically I'm cutting back.
So, maybe this works better. Sorry, everyone. First day on the job. So the applicant has handed up his cell phone with 2 separate photographs, looks like of his backyard. We'll mark this as ZHB4, and Mr. Bello, you're going to email these to Josh. All right, great. So we're just going to pass this along the board. Just take a quick peek.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. And email that? You can do that.
You can do that.
You can wait.
All right,
You can wait.
cool.
So does the board have any further questions of the applicant?
Anybody
Nobody else?
Mr. Bello, do you have anything else you'd like to add, or does that about do it?
If my neighbors could speak, that would be great, but I guess that's still later, but
All right, well,
that's everything
I
for me.
think that's about where we are now.
Okay.
So if there are any members of the public who would like to make a public comment with respect to this application, you can please come on up to the podium and introduce yourself and get sworn in by the court reporter. And- Why don't we do one at a time?
Okay, my name is Francis Burns.
You all raise your right hands for me, please.
Sure,
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Give me your name again, please.
Francis Burns, and this is my wife Linda.
Linda Burns.
We live at 1233 Lindell Avenue. So we're the adjoining property. Our property lines run parallel to each other from Lindale Avenue to the rear of the property. We've had quite a bit of rain to answer the question about the runoff, and there's not been any,
No runoff at all.
nothing noticeable difference since Femi had the patio installed. And we have no objection to what he wants to do, and that's the reason why we're here.
I think it's perfect the way it is. I look at it, it's beautiful.
And I've said, no, we can't get one.
Oh. Personally, I'd hate to see him have to put the expense out and cut it down.
So unless you have any
that's-
questions for us,
That's for
Are you on the driveway side or the
Driveway side.
the fence side?
the driveway side, yes, the length of fence that runs along that 40-foot side of the patio, that fence is directly intervenes between our driveway and
Femi's
the
driveway.
backyard.
Oh, so that's your,
Except,
Oh, yeah,
We're on
so
the right
it's their driveway.
Yeah,
we're on the
okay.
right side.
yeah, as you're looking at our home from
Lindale.
Lindell Avenue, we're to the right, and 1237 is to the left, closer to Township Line Road.
Wait, so you're not, so his driveway doesn't touch your property?
No,
Yeah.
not
Okay,
at
so
all.
you're on the opposite side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Exactly where the slab.
Right, that's what I was trying to get, okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Paula Jane White, and I live at 1236 Cornell. So, white's like the color? Paula Jane,
And I'm sorry, could you repeat your address one more time?
1236 Cornell.
Thank you.
So I live at the back corner of Femi's property, and like Linda and Frank, I think the improvements to the property that he's put in have been great. And to address your question about water runoff, the prior series of owners have kept that backyard pretty fallow. So he's got grass now and sunshine and this patio, and I have way less runoff and mud coming from his property than I ever had, including in these massive storms we've had the last couple of weeks. So I'm actually very encouraged by the improvements to the property and what it's done for the safety and security of my property.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Nikisha Wesley. I live at 1240 Cornell. So my property is directly behind Femi's home. It's a lovely addition that he did with the patio, the pavement out back. But I can tell you, it's no bother to me. It's actually an improvement. I have no issues with the water. And, you know, virtually, I have a shed that pretty much blocks anything anyway. So, I mean, it's no bother to me, honestly, just to keep it short and sweet.
I'm sorry, can you just spell your full name?
Yes, N as in Nancy, A K I S H A. Last name Wesley, Wesley. Thank you.
Is there any further public comment related to this application? Seeing none, at this point, I believe it's either appropriate to take this into executive session to discuss. All right. So the board will adjourn for a brief few moments. All right, good evening, everyone. We're back on the record after the board's executive session. I believe at this time there is a motion.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the application with the condition that no additional impervious surfaces would be expanded or placed on the property without zoning board approval.
Is there a second?
A second.
Second, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Congratulations, you're approved based on that condition. You'll get a formal written approval in the mail within 45 days.
Awesome.
Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'd like to move on to 5/4/25, 69th Street Retail Owner LP, 150 South 69th Street in Upper Darby. It's a C3 Commercial District, requesting a variance from section 550-39C1 to permit a fence height of 8 feet where a minimum height of 6 is permitted, and a variance from section 39D6 to permit a front yard chain link fence.
I'm
Okay.
going to mark a few exhibits for the record. ZHB1 will be the application package. ZHB2 will be the proof of posting, and ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. Actually, I'm going to scratch that. There's going to be board exhibits 1, board exhibits 2, and board exhibits 3. Do that because the applicant was kind enough to pass up an exhibit package with ZHB exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we will also take those into evidence as well. Are there any members of the public who would like to request party status this evening? Seeing none, I see council up at the lectern, and we're ready to go. Thank you very much.
If you don't, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Oh.
I brought just enough.
I was hiding behind your monitor.
Good evening. May it please the board, James Craig of Cozen O'Connor, 1 Liberty Place, 1650 Market Street, Suite 2800, Philadelphia, PA 19103, representing 69th Street Retail Owner LP, fee owner of the property known as 150 South 69th Street, located at the corner of Walnut and South 69th Streets. The property is located within the C3 traditional downtown business district. I have with me today Jeff Price, JEFFPRICE, property manager for 69th Street Retail Owner LP. Jeff will be testifying.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
We're here today seeking 2-dimensional variances with regard to section 550-39C1 relating to maximum fence height of 6 feet and section 550-39D6 relating to the use of chain link fences within front yards. The property owner is requesting a variance of section 550-39C1 to allow for the erection and installation of an 8-foot temporary chain link construction fence with fabric screening as detailed in ZHB Exhibit 5, as well as a variance of Section 550-39D6 to allow for the erection and installation of the chain link fence along Walnut Street, which as a corner lot is considered a second front yard in addition to South 69th Street. Before going further, it's important to note a brief history of the property. The property was acquired by owner in 2012. Thereafter, due to the condition of the building and garage on the property in 2022, this property was the subject of multiple discussions with the township regarding abatement of certain issues, which eventually resulted in the township requiring owner to demolish the parking garage located on the property in December of 2024. For the health, welfare, and safety of the community, a 6-foot cyclone fence was erected around the demolition area at that time. In approximately April of this year, and what I've been told tonight multiple other times this year, trespassers have scaled the fence and done damage to the property. Accordingly, the property is unique in that it is the site of a demolished parking structure and contains dangerous and potentially attractive nuisances to the public. And this is not a self-created hardship because owner did not initiate the demolition of the structure, but did so only when required to by the township. Strict compliance with sections 553.9C1 and 553.9D6 of the Upper Darby Code would represent an exceptional hardship upon landowner, warranting the ZHB granting relief from the strict application of the requirements thereof. In accordance with Section 30534 of the code, the property is not located within a flood zone. The requested variance will not result in endangerment of human life or prohibited activities. In fact, granting the requested variances will reduce danger to human life and protect the general public, and will foreclose the ability of individuals to trespass on the property who might be injured or be conducting illegal activities. The requested variances represent the minimum modification necessary to provide relief, as demonstrated by the failure of the current 6-foot fence to keep trespassers off the property. The granting of the requested variances will not result in an unacceptable or prohibited increase in flood heights, as the property is not located in a flood zone and the fence is pervious. The granting of the requested variances will not result in additional threats to public safety. Rather, it will increase public safety as stated previously. The granting of the requested variances will not result in any public expense. The granting of the requested variances will not result in the creation of a nuisance. Rather, it will reduce public nuisances, especially given that the fence will have fabric screening, nor will it cause fraud on or victimization of the public, or conflict with any other applicable state or local ordinances or regulations. Enclosed in your exhibit packages are exhibits ZHB 1 through 6, consisting of the vesting deed for the property, showing the owner is in fact the fee owner of the property, photographic proof of posting of the property. There's owner's application for variance along with the fencing plan that's attached, owner's garage demolition plan, specifications of the proposed 8-foot fence, and site photos. At this time, I would request that the owner's exhibits be admitted into evidence. Jeff, you've heard my testimony today. Did I accurately reflect your knowledge of this matter?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any corrections to anything that I've said?
No,
Do you adopt my testimony as your own?
I do.
Accordingly, owner requests that this board issue variances under sections 55039C1 and 55039D6 to allow for the installation of an 8-foot fence and to allow for the installation of a chain link fence within the front yard along Walnut Street.
Thank you very much, counsel. Your exhibits are admitted into evidence. And at this time, if the board has any questions, I believe now is the time.
Yes, can you tell me how much, I think I seen a drawing, how much, I guess in feet, how much fencing that would be? Is it the entire from, yeah, I'll let you answer.
Yeah, it's not the entire perimeter of the property. I don't know. Jeff, do you know the linear feet?
I believe it's actually listed on the drawings. It's substantial, but it encloses where the garage was of the old Sears property.
Right.
And it comes all the way, do you remember where the old auto portion of it was on the side?
Yes.
We're enclosing that, then coming all the way down the street, all the way back, and then bringing it right up to the building.
So is that where the garage was, the auto place, and then down where the houses are
Yes,
on that side of the street, and then back up to where the building that's still standing?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it won't be on the 69th Street side? Because I was just thinking.
Not on the 69th Street.
When I heard fabric fencing, fabric on the fencing, I was thinking of, well, what an eyesore.
No, it's actually a covering that goes over, it's like the green cover that goes over on the backside.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a privacy screen? You're talking about the privacy screen? Is there a privacy screen on the fence, on the current fence?
No.
And then the location of the new 8-foot fence is essentially would be exactly where the 6-foot fence is just a 2-foot difference?
That's correct.
I'll just ask it. So is the thought that the 2 feet, the difference in 2 feet in height is what's going to stop? I guess you've been having trespassers or something like that? Is that what's been going on?
That's correct. There's also a 12-foot option, but I believe that the 8-foot option is the least least offensive option above 6 feet.
I guess what I'm thinking is like with these chain link fences, if you could climb a 6-foot fence, can't you climb an 8-foot fence? Like what difference is that really going to make if it's, you know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know if who's this better suited to answer that question, but that doesn't seem like, I'm assuming they're climbing the fences. That's what's happening?
What's up there now is basically a construction fence that's built in sections.
Okay.
where you could easily pull apart a section to get in. This is a more, it's still temporary, but we're gonna use permanent poles, permanent
Oh,
fencing, like a real fence to make it look attractive. It was always our goal to make it look as nice as we could.
Okay.
We're improving the appearance of the fence significantly from what's up there now. And then we put the green screening on to keep the area, where it's not so visible.
okay, that's a helpful detail. So it's not the same type of fence that's there now. It's because I heard chain link, I just assumed it was the same type of fence that you have currently there. So really,
Yeah, what's there now is what they call a temporary construction fence.
oh, I see, okay.
It's really, it'll be a temporary fence, but.
But not like
much-
that one.
Much better than what, yeah.
Okay. It's not,
Pleasing to the eye.
Is it
Okay.
going to be into the ground, post into the ground?
Yes.
And how does that distinguish it from a permanent fence?
yeah, it's a good, yeah.
Well, the variance before the board is for the same one that covers permanent fences for the chain link in the front yard. So whether it would be temporary or permanent is not, a determinative factor in the variance request. Basically, we intend to remove it, but that doesn't make a difference between what the code says.
How many cases of violations have you experienced? Do you have documentation?
I don't have a record off my head. I'd say maybe, I know we've had a couple of break-ins.
Break into what?
These vacant Sears building. Where, and you can tell where you'll have people that'll try and get through the fence, cut through the area instead of walking around. They walk through the area. So that's this fence you will not get through very easily.
And there are police reports, correct?
There would be, we've had to call the police department out multiple times. It's been about 50, 60.
Hang on.
Who are you?
Oh, sorry.
Can't do that.
Sorry, we didn't mean to daisy chain that.
We've had we've had to contact the Upper Darby Police Department a number of times. Okay.
We can share.
Yeah. Okay.
But to Bob's point, so the posts for the proposed fences, so they're permanent posts going into the ground. So the temporary fence from the photos look like it's including the right of way. I'm presuming that you're not proposing putting the posts where the posts would be in the fence in these photos, right? It wouldn't include the sidewalk, or would it?
Sidewalk would be available for people to walk down.
Okay. Sorry.
This is going into the ground on the side between where the building one time stood and the sidewalk. It follows that trail down. So the sidewalk's going to be open.
Along where the neighborhood is, it will be open. There's a side street.
Yeah,
There's one side street where we propose it. In the plans, I believe, will show it. We actually would have that fence on the outside of an old sidewalk. That's on the, I guess I would say, it would be like the north side of it. Where the people are and the cars parked, like the residents, that fence comes inside of the sidewalk, so that sidewalk would be available for people to walk.
do you have any devices that track people?
Not at the
Coming
present
in?
time.
Okay, I have a couple questions. Yep. So starting with, do you guys have currently building security for that building, or like how do you process those reports? Like I'd assume you have a property manager, somebody that's there, that's able to be like somebody's trespassing, and then they call the police, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, so you do have staff there 24/7?
Yes.
Okay. A couple other questions were related to the fence specifically. have and this is just general, have there been any outreach to the local neighbors, especially the ones that are across the street specifically?
There has been during our construction period. In regard to this particular fence, there has not.
But there's been ongoing discussions with the township, and the township's been kept informed.
That's true.
Do you have any plans for renovation of it?
Yes, yes.
What is your time frame for this fence being up? Like, what is your expected? Yeah, because like currently the way the variance is right now, it looks pretty permanent of a variance. So, I guess our question is, you're asking for an 8-foot fence that would hypothetically, if we were to grant it in its current condition, would give you permission to have an 8-foot fence indefinitely. So I guess what I'm curious about is like, what is your time frame for the removal of this fence?
It would be our hope that that fence could be removed as soon as possible. We want to develop that parcel. In fact, we believe that taking that garage down that we did actually opens up the area, and it seems to have had a very positive impact on some potential retailers and other people that are interested in potentially doing an operation there.
When did the prior tenant leave?
Unless I'm mistaken, it was in 2012.
2012. And
Yeah,
did it sit vacant the entire time, or were there any other tenants?
it has sat vacant.
Okay. So I guess so that would be my follow-up, right? So I understand you say as soon as possible. Last time this building was occupied was over a decade ago. So I guess my question is like, how soon is possible? Like if you could put like a year number on it, right? Is there any type of time frame that you could specifically see that getting to, if that makes sense?
I think you're trying to figure out what a good condition would be to place on it. And that's something we would be open to discussing. Perhaps when the occupancy permit is issued, the final occupancy permit is issued for the new space. I agree that it's like squaring a circle here, because I don't think it was intended, this section of the code, to address temporary construction fences per se.
Yeah.
It's more so permanent fences. And if you were to issue us this variance, we could leave that up forever and it would look terrible. So we are certainly open to a condition where once the final occupancy permit would be issued on the redeveloped property, that we would take it down. We would want to anyways. I don't think that-
Obviously, but yeah.
You guys have pending like applications already, or is that still kind of in the works?
My understanding is that there's been some conversations. There's been interest shown. Those discussions, for obvious reasons, are confidential at this point in time. But we have a lot more interest than we did for the past decade and a half.
Fair enough.
Executive session?
Are there any additional board questions, perhaps? All right. Is there any public comment? Oh, oh, hang. Apologies.
I guess I'm just want to make sure I'm clear on the purpose of the fencing with the fabric and the height is for aesthetics and safety, or safety should be first?
The height is for safety.
Okay.
The fabric is for appearance. And the fabric isn't the subject of one of our variance requests today. That's
Right. I understand. It doesn't, draw the eye to the open like it is now. So I think the fabric, I personally think it's good. But I just, like Steve said, the difference between the 6 and the 8 feet. I mean, I think someone could scale 2 more feet. It's not a big deal. So how did you come to that decision?
I believe 8 feet is the next highest fence size that you can get above 6 feet.
Oh, does it go 10, 12?
Oh, it goes 10 and 12, but that's a larger variance to request.
Okay, no, I just wonder how you came to the, okay.
You get a few more break-ins and I come back and ask you, oh.
It's a little better
What
street.
do they break into? It's good.
I talked him out of barbed wire on the top, so.
Okay,
That's not good.
Any other questions?
I want to
All
hear
right,
from her.
so public comment at this time. Apologies for the false start there. Please introduce yourself and be sworn by a court reporter.
Good evening. I'm Rita LaRue, 519 Windermere Avenue. Yes. Thank you. Zoning Hearing Board, I am also the Township's Director of Community and Economic Development. And I would like to assure you that the township is working very closely with Ashkenazi Real Estate, which is the owner of the 69th Street Corporation, to make sure that this property does not sit vacant endlessly with a deteriorating fence around it. We recently had the Urban Land Institute come to Upper Darby to do a technical assistance panel for downtown Upper Darby specifically. Ashkenazi participated in this process. We believe that they are engaged and they look forward to a revitalized downtown. Yes, in the recent past, there has been some back and forth. We had to go to citations to get their attention. This sometimes happens. Economic development is an ecosystem, and there are many things involved. There is the general condition of the neighborhood, there is attracting investment, there are pandemics, there are rising interest rates. So there are a lot of different things that go into this ecosystem, and I want to assure you that the township will stay very close to this project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any further public comment? Seeing none, at this point, I think an executive session perhaps is appropriate. All right, so
All right, let the record reflect, the board has returned from executive session. So at this point, I believe that the board is uncomfortable with granting essentially a permanent variance here. However, if the applicant would be so inclined to amend this application to request temporary relief for a 2-year period, I think the board may be interested in considering that. So with that, if the applicant would like to discuss that potential option, perhaps?
Yeah, just give us a moment.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I've spoken with my client and we're amenable to that.
All right, great. Thank you very much. We appreciate the applicant's amendment. So with that, is there any, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to grant the amended application.
All right, and just to confirm, that's for the temporary 2-year variance for both of the requested forms of relief. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right,
Aye.
great. Congratulations. As you know, you'll get a formal written decision in 45 days. All right. Thanks. You too. Last but not least.
Okay, 5 of 5, 5 of 25, Kristen Picarillo, 140 Morgan Avenue, Hudson Hills, R1 Residential District, requesting a variance from section 550-39B1 to allow a 6-foot front, 6-foot front yard fence in the Morgan Avenue front yard.
All right, so real quick, a couple housekeeping items. Exhibit ZHB1 will be the application packet. Exhibit ZHB2 will be the proof of posting, and Exhibit ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. Is there anyone in the audience who would like public, who are like, no? No. Party status, if you're generally in opposition. You don't, if,
I'm good.
okay, yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. All right, so seeing none, will be no party status here. Ma'am, apologies for keeping you waiting. Please introduce yourself, get sworn in, and tell the board what your application is about.
I'm Kristen Picarillo. Can you raise your hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony Yes. Thanks. And it's actually only a 4-foot fence. I don't know if there was an error when we wrote it out or somewhere in processing the paperwork, but it is a 4-foot fence, and what was posted on our signs was changed to 4 foot when we put our signs in our yard to make our notice. So we bought the house at 1140 Morgan about a year ago, and if you look, and I have some photos I can share, but if you look at our house, the visual front of our house is on Dermond. There's only 4 houses on our block. It's 4 corner properties on our block. And they all 4 fronts visually face Dermond. Our address is on Morgan, which is actually visually the side of our house, and there's a small side porch on the side of our house. Most houses in our neighborhood have the same issue with these corner properties. Our mailbox is on the Dermond side of our house. It's on our visual front door. That's where our mailman delivers our mail. But our actual postal service address is to the side of our house, which is on Morgan. So I have some photos if you want to see them.
Does the board want to see those photos?
Want to see them? Okay.
All right.
So this is visually the our home. And then this is the side porch that's actually our address, but the one that we want to fence. of shows the whole area that we want to fence. It's just like from the side porch out around the tree. This is our mailbox. And then if you look at our block, I mean, this is our whole block and kind of what it looks like. So I'll leave those here too.
All right, so for the record, the applicants handed up a series of 5 photographs. I will mark these collectively as ZHB4 and pass them along to the board for their review.
So the way that the ordinance reads, we could legally fence our front yard that, as you can see, looks to be the front of the house, but we would need a variance in order to fence the side yard, which is technically our front yard. So that's what we're requesting. We're requesting a small 4-foot metal fence, just a black metal. I have some, I have like a photo of the fence. I mean, you can probably all visually understand what it is, but I do have photos of the fence that we're talking about if you want to see them. Yeah.
Sure.
And this is just the neighbor's house that has their side yard. They actually don't have the address issue, but it just shows what a similar fence would look like, and what kind of similar to what we would want to do.
Right. So for the record, the applicants provided 2 additional photographs, one of looks like a proposed fence, and the other of a neighboring property that has a somewhat similar style fence. Is that accurate?
Exactly, that's accurate.
So we'll mark these as ZHB5, and the board can take a look.
So we don't think that it wouldn't block any access, or it wouldn't, if our postman doesn't even come to that side door, he comes to the front door. It also wouldn't block any views of the cross street, because it would be, first of all, sitting back a little bit because we're not fencing our front yard. And then also it's only 4 feet high, so, and it's not going to be blocking anyone's view. And we really just want to fence it because we have that really nice side porch. We have some little outdoor couches out there, but we have dogs, and we don't feel like the space is usable for us to sit out there and enjoy the space with our dogs because it's not fenced, and we wouldn't take them outside without leashes. So if we fence that yard, then we'll be able to enjoy that space a little bit more. So that's why we're requesting the small fence.
Thank you very much. Does the board have any questions for the applicant? Going once.
How much fencing, so you're not trying to do your corner property, your entire L. You're not trying to do all of the L, you're trying to do the part on Sherman?
No, the part on Morgan. So basically, if you look at the one photo, you'll see our backyard is already fenced. Our backyard was fenced when we bought the home. So the new fence would just come out. It would abut the backyard fence, but it would be 12 inches from our neighboring property because that's the regulation. It would be, I think it's 40 feet from that fence, which is at the edge of our home, out to almost to the sidewalk. We have to give a 12-inch, we stay 12 inches from the sidewalk. So it's about 40 feet from where it would abut the current fence out to the sidewalk. Then it's only 32 feet from there out to what would be, it would match the front of our house and then back to the front of our home. So it wouldn't actually come into the Dermond yard. It would just run along it would just come out directly from our home and then across the Morgan yard and then back to meet the fence in the backyard. Sure.
That curb cut on Morgan, is that driveway, is that your driveway or is that the property behind?
That is the property behind us. Our driveway is on the other side of the house on Dermond.
All right. Is there any public comment? Seeing none. At this point, if the board so chooses to make a motion, I think now would be the time.
I make a motion to approve this application.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. You'll get a written decision in 45 days.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you.
I'd like
Second. Aye.